hilarious. And it's oh, okay. Hello, we are back. Healthy You, take 2.
Yes.
Yeah, Suzanne. False start. What the heck?
We were in it to win it.
Oh, now we're back. This is just too much fun. So 3rd time's the charm here. So hopefully you caught the first 10-minute segment. If you are watching this later and not live, please go back on Peoria Life and watch the first 10 minutes to catch up. And then this is going to be the 2nd segment, hopefully the final segment. We crashed the internet this morning. We're having too much fun. All right, we're going to just pick up right where we left off. And Suzanne, you were saying that the doctors, they did this test and they found
They did a colonoscopy because that's the only way that they thought they could see why I was having all of these issues at only being 40.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Usually a colonoscopy.
Not just 40, healthy and 40.
Exactly, yep. And they found a mass, and they sent it off to pathology. Part of it they got out during the colonoscopy. The other part, they had to schedule surgery. So November 18th of 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 1 colon cancer.
Wow.
And they removed 8 inches of my colon, and they resectioned it. And then they took a little bit more out just in case. They wanted to be sure that it didn't spread. But I wouldn't know that until a couple days after. Between that time, I was recovering, but then I started to have a hemorrhage, and they put me in ICU for 3 days because I lost 6 pints of blood.
Oh, my gosh.
So I knew that wasn't my time to go. I knew that I was going to get through it. Fast forward to getting back into the, and I put this in quotation marks, you know, oh, this is how I used to be. Took me a while to go to the bathroom, or I don't know if I'm hungry for this, and it took me a while to get my appetite back and try to get back into my normal life.
Right.
Spring came. I thought it was normal for me to not go to the bathroom every day. Maybe once or twice a week.
Oh, my gosh. You cannot believe how many times I've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not normal, by the way. If you are listening and you are only going to the bathroom a couple of times a week, please, that is not normal.
No,
there are things that can
every
make it better.
Supplement over the counter from the doctor you could imagine, whether it was with fiber or, you know, it just didn't work for me. And I'm like, I've got to change something about what I do. I wanted to get back into running. I wanted to get back into yoga. And I just had this constant aching and uncomfortableness. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Well, I just kept on going. And then in June, I happened to bump into my friend Ingrid, who she kept on, you know, saying, hey, you know, maybe you should try this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like that stuff. It's not me.
Skeptical.
You were healthy.
Skeptical. Yeah.
You didn't need it.
Everything that I'm doing is working fine. I'm always right.
Right. I'm taking my fiber. This is as good as it gets.
But then she's like, just give it a try.
Can't hurt.
Can't hurt.
I get a little serious after some time, right? Because I
did.
do. I wanted
And
to
she had a
help.
look on her face like, I need you to try this because what you're going through is not right.
Yeah.
I called my doctor. I'm like, have you ever heard of this stuff called Plexus? And he's like, actually, yeah, I have. And, you know, she'd give it a try. I'm like, all right, well, if you say so.
Right. Because sometimes we feel, if we hear it from the doctor, it makes us
You just
feel
feel
a little
better.
better.
I say it all
but
the time.
a lot of
Get your-
times the
yeah.
doctors are, they're very cautious.
Depends on who your doctor
It depends
is.
on who your doctor, but a lot of doctors are very cautious about saying, oh, sure, take that supplement because they don't want the responsibility. it's not that they don't believe
Yeah.
that you should take it.
Right.
It's not that they might not even be taking the product themselves.
Right.
It's not that they don't think, they just don't want the responsibility.
It's true. They're not backed up on that.
That's
Yeah.
right. So just be careful that, you know, some doctors are more liberal, but good for your doctor.
Well, and speaking of being backed up, no, you gotta be funny, sorry. I started taking it,
That's great.
and within a few days, it was kind of like with me, there was 3-4 months worth of whatever was in there, it was leaving my body. And I could tell because I was going every single day.
Wow.
And I mean, I was like, God, I want to like just cheer
I
for it. I
mean,
want
it
to
is
tell
something
everybody.
to cheer for, yeah.
When you go
Facebook
through this
post.
kind of
Yeah.
I'm
thing,
pooping every day.
when you go through something like colon cancer in the area of your
Right.
body it's in, your modesty goes out the window.
Sure.
In all
seriousness.
in all facets. And
Yeah.
so, you know, when I would tell people, they're like, but you're only 40. I'm like, well, now I'm 41. I'll actually be 42 in 2 weeks.
Right.
But it was something that I said, if I can just help one person who can help somebody else and somebody else, and it goes down the line, my job is done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have the same success as Melissa, my manager at Curves, who takes Plexus. She did the same thing. She thought it was normal to go to the bathroom twice a week. And I'm like, that's not normal. But I want to really quick touch on this because I think maybe some of the listeners are really probably relating to some of the things that you're saying, Suzanne. You said you had IBS since you were
In high school.
in high school. Now, did they correlate that to the colon cancer at all?
Because I haven't taken anything, I just knew that, oh, I shouldn't eat this because if I do, then that's going to happen.
Right.
And the issues that I was having, there was blood in my stool, which I thought was because the night before we were with a bunch of friends and there was this meat and cheese plate that I could not stay away from. And I thought, oh, that is,
overboard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it kept happening 2 times, like it happened one day and then it happened 3 or 4 days after.
God,
Yeah.
See,
And I called my doctor and said, okay, this isn't normal. And there are people that wait. And if
They
I
will.
would have waited, they told me it would have been a completely different outcome, which I am very thankful that I listened to my body.
Ah, yes.
But
Great.
now,
advice.
you know, I feel better than I ever have. A year ago, I was having trouble walking a couple blocks without being out of breath, and I was very tired. I had no energy. It was just when you lose that much blood. I mean, that's
Sure. Your iron, all of
oh,
that.
my iron was like at a 3,
Oh, gosh.
and they wouldn't let me leave the hospital until it was over a 13, I think. So.
And iron really messes with your energy too. But okay, so now the amazing success part of it is what did you just do this last Saturday?
This past Saturday, I ran the St. Jude Memphis Marathon as a St. Jude hero.
The full marathon.
Full marathon.
26.
26 point. Well, actually, my watch said 27.1 because I weave in and out of people. And then I took my time. I raised a lot of money for St. Jude.
Yeah, you raised what,
did.
over
You did.
$4,000?
$4,816.
But that was just for the marathon, but you also did the Memphis to Peoria run.
I do the Memphis to Peoria run, and each year I raise at least $3,000 for that.
Yes.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You were my inspiration
You're
to start
awesome.
running. Did you know that, Suzanne? So I started the Tri-County run for St. Jude. Was that 13 years ago, maybe?
Been a while.
It was a
Yeah.
while. It was Suzanne invited me to do it, and that's how I got started. And so I've been doing it every year, since. And so that's see,
great.
amazing the impact
That's what
that
happens.
you
Yes.
have, and that's awesome. That's an amazing story. Congratulations
really
on
great
that full
story.
marathon.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's
That's
awesome.
a big, huge feat from one year to the next.
Well, November 2nd, I was diagnosed. So November 2nd of 2016,
Right?
I was diagnosed, and then November 5th, I ran the Indianapolis Marathon with my good friend Stephanie. Hey, Steph.
Right after you were diagnosed?
Because I asked him, I said, when he said, do you have any questions? I'm like, I have a marathon on Saturday.
That probably isn't a question he gets very often.
No.
And I'm not in any pain, but I've been training very hard for this. And he's like, if you feel like you can do it, you can do it. And the look on my husband's face was, I had no idea what was going through his head, because he's like, she's asking if she can run?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's wondering, like, what's going to happen.
Because he's,
So-
he's probably
very
more
worried.
concerned than
Right.
you are at the
Right.
time, because in your heart, you're a go-getter. So you're like, this is not taking, I can see you now. You think this is taking me down? This is not taking me down.
Right.
Nope.
And so I met you, or I not met you, but I saw you at a party, and you had shared with me you were taking Plexus. And of course, I knew Ing. And at that moment, I didn't realize that you had connected. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to talk to my friend Ing, right? And you said, I've already talked to her.
Yep.
And I said, you got to sign up. This is amazing. You'll love it. And you said, well, I'm just taking it right now. You were
So
trying to
I
see
am
how-
not expecting anything. And even friends of mine that are like, I don't know, I mean, I have these other issues going on, and I have, you know, whether it's with their adrenal gland or their blood pressure, or maybe something that is the same as what I went through, you know, I'm like, just when you feel like you're ready to do it, just call me. I'll help you through it. I mean, it's helping me. So if it can help me, the most skeptical person you can meet, because I always second guess. I have a psychology background, and I overanalyze everything. And once you do that, you just drive yourself crazy. And so that's why I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
I'm so happy you said yes too, because I think so many times we miss the opportunity, and we miss what can really help us, you know, because all it is just learning, and it's educating, and that comes from personal experience.
Absolutely.
You know, you try it.
sharing your passion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's like what you said. She had such an impact on you just for running. I mean, you look up to people when people are taking a step towards bettering themselves, towards feeling better, and they've taken steps to learn and educate themselves on that. I mean, why not listen?
Why not?
Why not
Yes.
pay attention? You know, because those are the people that will impact our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So, what products are you taking? So, I know there's what's available out there, and what's the most important step for someone to take when it comes to supplements? What's your suggestion where they can start?
Yeah. Well,
Well, for me, I take the Slim drink every morning. I have it right here in my
Got her.
St. Jude
In her
cup.
St. Jude Memphis cup.
I do that. I take the BioCleanse.
And that's
twice
what
a
the
day.
BioCleanse is, what really helps you stay regular.
the
right?
magnesium.
And then the ProBio 5. Take that before I go to bed.
Yeah, that's the key. Those 3 products right there are going to help you get back on track.
And
That's
why
what
is
I
that?
say. It's going to prime your body for a real change at that point, because that's what's going to heal. Because then we're focused in on our gut health by killing off our bad bacteria overgrowth, and that comes like what you went through. You cannot avoid it. You had to take
I had to do
medications, you had to
something.
do stuff, and that's what's causing bad bacteria. You know, anything, stress, pollution, our
Only
diet,
thing- it's the only
antibiotics
thing I
over the
take.
counter.
I don't take anything else. I didn't have to have any treatment. I didn't have to go back. I just have to go back once a year for
Yeah.
a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So we're on the healing process right now
Right.
for you. And so when you
And
can kill off that
preventative,
bad
so that
tell
doesn't
you
happen
too.
again.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned
Absolutely.
that you were getting these night sweats, and
Ugh.
I would just like wring out my shirt in the morning. I was so hot. Well, now even my husband's like, "Were you cold?" I'm like, "I was freezing." I sometimes sleep in socks.
Yeah.
That was unheard of in my mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't have an energy slump in the afternoon anymore,
Nope.
and I sleep. I sleep the
Oh
whole
my
night.
gosh, I do
don't
too.
have night
I
sweats.
mean, that for the most
and
part,
I go
it
to
rarely.
the bathroom every day.
You
Every
guys, I'm loving this because this is what it's about.
And you can go to the bathroom every day too.
This is a real solution. These are things that people feel and they're benefiting from. I mean, excuse me, as soon as we can become like a group of people, and the more people who believe that feeling better is the number one, that's the number one thing that we want to do, feel better, because then everything else starts to fall in place. weight loss will fall in place.
Yes.
You'll start to want to eat better. You'll want to drink more water. Exercise. You'll move your body.
Not bloated.
You know, you won't be bloated
I was
because you're
bloated all the
feeling
time.
better.
All the time.
So if we can switch that mindset and be like, hey, stop, especially, my gosh, the new year coming, stop saying like, oh, I need to lose weight. No.
I
You
want
need
to.
You
I
need to
want
heal
to.
your body.
You have to
You
make
need to
that
take
decision.
care of it. And you want to decide, I just want to feel better, because then that's all going to naturally fall in place.
If you have more energy, you're
It
going to
does.
feel
The energy
like
comes from blood
exercising.
sugar. You know, we have such unbalanced blood sugar levels. So going back, so it's gut health, blood sugar maintenance, and it's inflammation. Inflammation
Yes,
is huge, and people don't even know that they struggle. If they're not swollen, they don't see a bump or bruise, or they're not like on the surface, it's internal. That's
You
where
cannot
everything
see it
is.
until it's too late,
It's
right?
too late.
You didn't see
I didn't
that
see it.
you had
No.
this
I
mass
felt it.
And you didn't
growing,
ignore
but
it, though.
It had been there
and
for
that's
a while.
the sign.
It's not something that
No,
just
and
popped
then
up overnight.
I didn't know that I had that.
Right.
Why would I even think? I was only
No, you would
40.
never.
You don't have a colonoscopy
No,
until you're
right.
50
It's the signs, and you paid attention. That's good.
to know your body.
You have to.
You do.
have to. That's so key too, especially even with implementing supplements, Plexus products. Like, you have to listen to your body. It's not like you're gonna have, like, all of a sudden you may feel like this. Oh, I have like a unlimited energy, like this sustained clean energy. I remember about 2 weeks in, this lady, I was in the parking lot a Tuesday morning, and she was like, well, aren't you just a breath of fresh air? And I was like, I am. Because I had like a bounce in my step, I wasn't feeling like overwhelmed. I wasn't dragging anymore.
Right.
But it's the blood sugar. I never knew that. I educated myself. Why is this working so well? I'm going to find out,
Sure.
you know.
And you've been taking Plexus for how long now?
3.5 years.
You said you've never missed a
I
day.
don't miss a day. I don't miss a day. I mean, maybe I can count on one hand the days that I have missed, and I feel it. I know that that's happening. In fact, I just had my neighbor come over to me the other day, and she goes, "You're going to love this story." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I did not take Plexus for 3 days because someone gave me something else to try." She goes, "I didn't want to tell you." She goes, "But I'm telling you now because the result is I should not have done it." She goes, "I could tell." And I told my husband, she was like, I will never stop taking this. And it's helped her lower. Every time she goes to her 6-month checkup, she lowers her thyroid medication by a whole tablet.
Yeah.
Every time. Because
That's
she's
amazing.
getting down to where she's not even going to need it anymore. Because that's what we can do, this naturally plant-based. We can do this. Educate
It works
yourself.
for me.
Educate yourself.
And you don't have to be afraid to take good supplements, even if you've had some medical issues like even cancer. And I think a
That's
lot
when
of
you
times
need it the
people,
most, I
yes.
think.
Right.
You
Don't
need
you
it.
think people get afraid though when they've been diagnosed with such an extreme issue? It's scary.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
I mean, you're afraid. You're like, you don't want to do anything that's going to mess something up, and it makes you nervous. So I can understand why you felt better when your doctor said, yes,
Right.
this
Oh,
is
yeah.
a good product.
Absolutely.
Because it is kind of scary. I think people are afraid. And then the other issue that we run into is people think it's a gimmick. People don't think it really works. It's just a
Yeah. Well, and that's
waste
why.
of money.
Yeah, that's why I love that when my neighbor told me that. I was like, no, keep those stories coming. I love it. I love the stories when they've taken a month off because they're like, I don't know if it's really doing something. And then they come back to me, they're like, oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You get used to those feelings, like all of a sudden, like my body's working the way it should. Okay, I'm back to normal. No, you need to keep those same minerals, those same vitamins in your body working.
It's not a
like,
one and done.
no, it's a constant.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen an improvement in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
More so
It
than
takes
quick.
time to do
It's
that.
not a quick fix. This isn't it's not
Oh,
about
no.
taking, okay, really quick,
Yeah.
in the last minute that we have, this is very important message, that you should not take anything if you're taking it just to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that that is a quick fix. Your mindset is not where it should be.
Nope.
If you want to lose weight and be healthy, you have to change behaviors. You need to start eating better, and you need to start exercising. Supplements are the third leg to the stool, and it is an enhancement. So I always say, if you're taking something just to lose weight, I think that's
Total wrong route.
the wrong mindset. I
Wrong
believe
route.
that supplements are good, and I firmly, in my over 20-year experience of working in health and wellness, believe that supplements can make a difference in your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And helps you out.
I think it simplifies the whole process, honestly. Like, just start implementing one good thing a day, and if that's your
Yes.
supplements, everything's going to fall in place.
Yes.
It simplifies it.
And
Don't
your success
overcomplicate it.
stories with Plexus speaks for itself.
Is amazing.
Yep.
And
It
I'm
is
so happy
amazing.
that we've been able to help you.
Me too.
And
That's
I am
awesome.
so happy that I got to spend this morning with you girls.
Me too.
Because the internet crashed, we got extra time. So that was awesome.
good. This worked out.
Thank you guys so much for joining in. Don't forget, show us some love, give us some likes, ask some comments. If you have any questions, be sure to post those. We'll come back later.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for tuning in. Ingrid, thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Suzanne, thank you. How fun.
Thank
Have a
you.
rest of a good Wednesday. See you later. Awesome.